Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Jonathan Lindsey. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under the video. And he wanted me to talk about The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Episode 3. And to be perfectly honest, this episode kind of cinches the deal as to my thoughts on the show so far. I like the aesthetic, the puppetry, going more basic, back to basics, less CG, Jim Henson's work being up front and center. I appreciate the idea that they're doing the puppetry and they're trying to tell a serious story. This show is way too damn padded out. It's way too damn padded out. It takes forever, it seems, to get going. And if it wasn't for a paid request, I would have given up on the show. Because when I look at this episode, I see 15 minutes of stuff spread over 50 minutes. I do. Because I'm watching this. I like The Dark Crystal from 1982, give or take. I liked it. It's not one of my favorite films. It's not my top 10 or top 20 or top 100. I liked it, though. I liked it. And you know what? If they wanted to do a prequel, they should have just done a movie. 80, 90 minutes, it's a prequel. In and out, boom. Not 10 fucking episodes. Because I know there's a lot of people who do see it, they're really into this, and they love it. They give it a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. I'm not saying it's a bad show. I'm saying it's a show that is way too fucking padded out and did not need maybe 5 episodes, maybe 4 episodes, but 10? Because, okay, this is what happens in the episode. So far, we've established there's 3 stars of the show. Delphlings. There's Rian, the guard, whose girlfriend was killed, and they think he did it, even though he knows the bad guys, the Sketzes, did it. He's on the run. People are chasing after him, including his father. So he's a guard who's framed for a crime, a murder he didn't commit. You have a Delphling from the underground, that world, who've come up, met this piling named Hup, and knows that there's trouble brewing, the darkening, and wants to warn people and get help. You have this princess that's asking too many questions and is inquisitive and knows there's something going on and is looking into this, to the chagrin of her mom and her sister. The princess is with her group to clean up these little podlings who pretty much little kids. They act like little kids. They don't want to be cleaned. They don't want to be washed. They're running around while she's trying to grab it and clean it and grab and clean it. To me, this went on way too long. The underground Gelfling, Deet, she gets insulted. Hup, the podling, helps out, beats him up, some people up, but gets arrested. And she wants to get him out of jail. But they keep telling her that she's smelly. She's not the same Delphin as them. You're other Delphin, you smell, leave. And that goes on forever. Rian, the guard, helps some people with their wheel. They realize who he is. Fuck off. He tries to get help. His dad tries to capture him. He makes some chandeliers drop. He escapes. There's a bit where Rian meets Deet. And then they go their separate ways. The princess finds some power. Some jewel, I was to say, some jewel. The brightest jewel, as she called it. After sneaking back in. Agra, who's the only character really from that would be in the Dark Crystal movie, She's woken up. She wants to see what happened. She sees that the crystal is corrupted and darker. She's upset, but she's just thrown out. That could constitute 15 minutes as drawn to over 50 minutes. Everything I just said is what I explained. I explained in what, 5 minutes? I explained in like 5 minutes what it takes over 50 minutes to play out in this. Like I said, there's no reason this needs to be 10 fucking episodes. And that's an issue I've had with not every, but a lot of these Netflix shows. Where they take something and for some reason they have to be fucking 10 episodes long. Not 5 or 4 or 7, 10. So he's got to be 10 episodes. So shit. Each one's 50 minutes long. We need 10 of them. So we need to pad this out. We need to pad this out. We need to pad this out. This scene that could take 1 minute, take 5 minutes. This scene that could take 2, take 7. And then when you have the Gelfling where their expressions are stiff, so they can't show a lot of emotion, so you're watching a lot of puppets that are talking, but their face cannot express anything. So they're just talking like this, and they're being excited, or they're being worried, or they're being scared. So maybe their eyes go up, but the rest of their face cannot express anything. It's like everyone's got a bit thick of Botox. I don't hate the show. I appreciate it taking itself seriously. I appreciate that it's not being a fucking joke. I appreciate that it's not just a bunch of fucking fart jokes, shit jokes, stupid, lowbrow humor. I appreciate that there is passion involved with the sets, the puppetry work, using little CGI, the aesthetics of it. I appreciate what it's trying to do. It's just not for me. I'm sorry, it's not for me. I don't think a prequel idea was the right idea anyway in the first place. Because you already know where it's going. If you've seen the Dark Crystal, you know where it leads up to. So to me, this is all pointless. This story to me is pointless. Because we know the crystal's not going to be fixed. Okay, you know Mother Agra's not going to die. Because she's in the movie. You know the crystal's not going to be fixed. You know this and this and this Getzies are going to be alive because they're in the movie. You know these other Gelfling, either they disappear, they lose. You know that no matter what, they will lose. You know they lost. You already know they lost. Because you have the movie. Years and years later. So when you already know that they're not going to win, those Getzies are not going to lose, at least now. They're not going to die. Mother Agra's not going to die. These other Gelfling, they're either going to lose or die or go into hiding. So you already know who wins and who loses, and you know who some are not going to die. That hurts the story. Any amount of suspense or any amount of tension. I guess the only tension you would have is, of the three main characters, will they either die or go into hiding? Which if they go into hiding, you will go, well, why didn't they come to help out in the movie? Or it's been so many years, they got old and then they died and they had kids. Well, why didn't those kids? Unless you find out one of them is the father, mother, grandfather, grandmother of the characters in the movie. Maybe that's the case. But is that okay? So I don't think that was a story worth telling. That's just me. Especially not padded out to 10 episodes. Even then, it's not finished because they wanted to do a season 2. This is not a story that... 50 minutes apiece, 10 hours. They got 10 of them. That's almost 10 hours. 50 minutes. Well, 10... maybe 8.5 hours, eight and a half. And each one's like 50 minutes apiece. So you take 10 minutes off. That's 1 hour. No, yeah, it's 1 hour. That's 40 minutes. So about 8.5 hours. About 8.5 hours. Maybe a little bit less. I don't see this as a story that needs over 8 hours to be told. The fucking Bible has been told in less hours than this story. The fucking Bible. So I have no issues with the voice acting. Again, the puppetry work, it's nice to see that back again. But the aesthetics and the setting can only go so far. It's not capturing me with the story. I still sit here and I go, why did we need a prequel? Why not a sequel? A sequel would be more interesting to me. A sequel where some other creatures, not the Stetsis, but some other creatures or some other life forms come in, and they're going to darken the crystal and corrupt it. But we need to fight it because we don't want to go back to that shit again. So we need to protect the crystal. So it's a battle of these Delphine and whatever creatures protecting the crystal so it doesn't get corrupted again against whatever force. Maybe that could be a more interesting story than this. And not have 8 hours to tell it. There's not enough here so far for 8 fucking hours. For 10 fucking episodes, 50 minutes apiece. 51, 52 minutes apiece. Again, there's maybe 10, 15 minutes of material here that's stretched out to over 50 goddamn minutes. And that's my issue with that. If you're the big Dark Crystal fan, you're not going to care. To me, who likes it, it's too goddamn padded. And that's a problem with a lot of these Netflix shows. They have this much story, and they pad it out to this far. At least The Mandalorian, at least I was enjoying the main character just being a badass like John Wick. As superficial as that is, at least I was enjoying that. So that padding I actually like. This, not really. Or at least I'm indifferent. At the very least. At the most I'm indifferent. But I wouldn't say like I'm big. Are you a big fan of the show? Nah, not really. It's there. Again, the aesthetics are nice. I thought they were nice in the first 2 episodes, but now it's like, okay, I'm not ADD, but okay, this is technically now 3 episodes, 50 minutes apiece. 3 hours. Take 10 minutes off each, so 2.5. It's like 2.5 hours so far. You could almost do. How long was the Dark Crystal? Was it 90 minutes? You could almost film 2 movies in that span. Have 2 movies in that span. And it's like. This is like all stuff that you could like be the first 20, 25 minutes of a movie. These 3 episodes. And learning more about them, I still haven't gotten that much in depth on the characters as much as the show thinks. So, it is what it was and was what it is. Again, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. I think it's too padded out. You know, the Delphine's expressions are stiff. I could excuse that in the original film. Because all it takes puppetry and is 82. Here, maybe they keep that because to be in sync. Because they were like, well, wait a minute, how come they're so expressive? But then in the sequel, the movie, so I get that for consistency's sake, but still. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it just isn't for me. I don't know. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.